going to be reviewing Tom and Jerry from 2021.
You new in town?
Tom and Jerry are entering our world on February 26th. They're the reason New York never sleeps.
Well, this is a disaster.
That's probably a scream of delight.
Tom and Jerry, the movie. Rated PG. In theaters and streaming on HBO Max, February 26th.
The plot of Tom and Jerry that follows a young woman, portrayed by Chloe Grace Moretz, as she tries to get herself hired at an upper-class hotel in New York City. But once there is a mouse problem in the hotel, she ends up hiring a cat to chase down this mouse. Now, before I get into this review, I would like to state that I have, in terms of my recommendation, no, kind of emotional attachment to Tom and Jerry as theories. I remember some of it as a kid, but not much. In fact, I could barely remember if I've even watched Tom and Jerry as a kid. So for me, I have no emotional attachment to these characters whatsoever, and, this wasn't a movie I really wanted to see. It was just something for my channel, in terms of, movies I could get for relatively inexpensively, because I have HBO Max and stuff like that, so we get at-home premieres from Warner Brothers and stuff like that on there. This is the first one of those. The only other one that was free that I watched was through Paramount Plus, and that was the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water. So yeah, I've only seen 2 movies this year. Okay, scratch that. Me and Josh started to watch another movie that came out this year that premiered on HBO Max, which we have yet to finish. In fact, we were like halfway through before HBO Max just pulled it out. So we're thinking about renting on DVD and reviewing, which that movie was The Little Things. But today we're reviewing Tom and Jerry, and I do have some thoughts on this movie, so let's get right into it. I guess the only positive I have is that people got employed. But people actually got a job, they got money from doing this movie. Probably going to get work on better movies, hopefully, and that's about it. There's some things I'm kind of mixed on, so I'll go into that with my mixed aspects. So let's get right into that. One of the things I'm mixed on is the slapstick. Now, on the one hand, just based on the trailer, it looked like the slapstick was off all the way through. It wasn't funny. When I watched the movie, there were some that surprisingly gave me a bit of a slight chuckle away. Only a few, and even then, it wasn't like a ha 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 ha. Yeah, it wasn't like anything like that. There were just a few light chuckles in this movie, and that's about it. And honestly, that's it for my mixed thoughts. Let's move on to my negatives. Boy, I got lots. Okay, I'll start with my smaller negatives and then get to the biggest one. For one, I could tell these actors probably do good in other stuff, but so far I haven't. I've only seen one of these actors in another thing, and that is Michael Pena. Actually, and he was the only other movie I saw him in was me and Josh watched Fantasy Island, and he wasn't that great in that, and he's also not great in this either. I could tell there's potential with this guy, but he's just been given not that great of movies to be in to showcase his potential. I heard supposedly he's funny and other stuff, but not really. Which, by the way, me and Josh do intend on reviewing Fantasy Island at some point. So be sure to look out for that. And all these other actors, I could see them being funny, and if they had different material to work with, and that, like Chloe Grace Moretz, which I think this is the only film I've seen her in. I know she's in the Carrie remake, which I personally have never seen, and I could see her being a good actress, and that's the case for all these actors too. I could see them being good in other stuff, just not in the material they've been given here, or let's say in Michael Pena's case here in Fantasy Island. They're not really great in terms of acting in here. Comedy is especially not that great with these characters. It's mostly I don't even know what kind of comedy is what they were trying to go for. Except for maybe just awkward. And I didn't laugh or even chuckle a single time with these human characters and that at all. And in terms of the humor too, First of all, again, most of the slapstick with Tom and Jerry doesn't work at all. Like, I don't really feel the pain when they get hit with something or anything like that. In terms of other aspects of comedy in this movie, you're going to see a lot of, like, you know, poop jokes and stuff like that. There's literally a scene where a cartoon dog is taking a literal dump in the middle of the street. And that's supposed to be funny. I didn't laugh a single time at that. Not at all. I'm not joking on that either. I mean, also, in terms of, like, story, it's just kind of by the numbers generic story like this. In terms of the characters, too, they're not interesting really at all. Even our main character, Grace Moretz's character, who you're supposed to sympathize with and all that stuff, it's not how they really start her off with. So basically, she basically goes into the hotel to try to get a job and that, but in doing so, she, you know, there's this other woman who was actually, you know, there for an interview at the job, and Grace Moretz kind of scares her off, manipulates her, and that not to taking the job. And knowing that, too, she steals her resume and almost trying to be that person and that and taking her job and everything. Knowing that, too, even in the movie, she screws over Michael Pena's character, gets his job fired and that. So, and, you know, takes his job as a event manager, in which he's now having to run this entire wedding for these two very wealthy couple who I also don't give a crap about in the movie. And then there's only one time where everything goes wrong, Tom and Jerry screws things up for her, and she gets rewarded for it at the end because she ended up fixing it. You know, I guess they were trying to go for, starts off as a selfish person and that, but then through Tom and Jerry and all this stuff going on, she learns to be a better person, and I think it failed. They failed miserably at it, and I guess the message this film is trying to give at all is that, like, in terms of giving a message to your kids, is that if you lie, cheat, and steal, screw everyone over, you can make it to the top, you can make it big, screw morality, just do whatever it takes, even if you have to play dirty at it. This is an awful message for kids. If I have kids, I wouldn't want them to be learning, you know, this stuff. I wouldn't want them to be saying, oh, this is okay. I don't. I know that too, throughout it, in terms of the messaging, I'm like, isn't Hollywood the same people have been saying, like, one of the same people have been saying that this guy did all that in order to get to the top, and they were calling him out for it and everything like that, but yet they're trying to tell kids, hey, it's okay to do the same thing as this guy? I'm just like, what? This is so not a good message for kids. I don't know what else to say, it's not. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention, throughout the film you get these, like, kind of rapping jazz, I don't even know what they are, pigeons, kind of cool, like, telling people, like, in between segments of what is going on with the plot right now. So, it's like this movie thinks you're too dumb to even recognize or acknowledge what's going on in the plot of Tom and Jerry. So, they're having to spoon feed it to you. But honestly, for me, you know, that's it with my negatives. Let's just, because I could keep on talking about my negatives with this, like, my issues with this movie, so let's just move on to my rating. So with that said, I'm going to give Tom and Jerry a 1.5 out of 5 stars. Honestly, for me, it's not good. I gave it a half a star, like an additional half star, because there were some stuff that I'm like, kind of made me chuckle. I could see the potential with some of these actors and stuff like that and other stuff, you know, and the fact that, you know, this movie, employed people got, like, basically gave jobs, you know, to them. So, yeah, that's about it. It's like between this and the SpongeBob movie, I'm like, and kids' movies are starting to become really bad. Like, woof. No joke, like, I wouldn't recommend this to anyone really, even if you're a die-hard Tom and Jerry fan, you know, and I wouldn't recommend it to you if you're a parent and you have kids and you're like, oh, this looks like it could be a you know, one of the few people who are like, oh, this looks like it, just from the trailers, oh, this looks like it could be a, you know, sweet, innocent movie for my kids, for me, my wife, and my kids to go see, you know, it's like, don't. Because it's going to teach your kids some very bad messaging, you know, like, very bad, like, morals. So, actually, the more and more I'm thinking about this movie, because it's really pissing me off with this movie, because I just wish Hollywood could respect kids enough in terms of creating their content and that. You know, because this, yeah, I'm going to change my rating. So I'm going to change my rating for Tom and Jerry from a 1.5 out of 5 stars to a 1 out of 5 stars. Man, it is just, whew, so bad. The more and more I think about it, it's like when I think of like Halloween 5. The more and more I think about it, the more angry I become. You know, like, I hope to see some better movies this year, because so far this is like, again, me and Josh, we're in the middle of watching The Little Things. When that comes out on DVD, we'll rent it and finish watching it and do a review, and also too, we're going to be reviewing Godzilla vs. Kong, which is coming out this Wednesday, so we're excited to check that out. Yeah! Oh, sorry, I was just having a bit of, I guess you could call it PTSD. So that's it for this review. Thank you guys for watching, and man, this movie sucks.